Guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Modesty33 here, aka Crystal with a C. Back at you another video. If you're new to my channel, you just happen to click on welcome. I try to put out 1 to 2 videos a week. I do sit downs, reviews, reactions, vlogs. So if any of that interests you, make sure you check out the prior videos on my channel. And if you see anything you like before you leave, make sure you subscribe. So today, guys, I was actually going to be doing a lock update. I just happened to get my third retied. So just wanted to kind of do a dedicated video to my lock journey and how I've been enjoying it thus far. What are some things that I like, things that I don't like, just in case you are considering locking your hair or it's something that you've been researching and you don't know where to start. Maybe this might be a good place, but I still recommend, shopping around, looking at a variety of videos. Even now, I still look at different videos, even though I have committed to the decision of locking my hair. But again, it's a very personal, individualistic decision that everyone has to make for themselves. But I just wanted to give you guys a bit of background and again, talk about, the things I like and things I don't like about this journey thus far. So guys, let's go ahead and get started. So, wanted to give a bit of background because again, I give little updates in various videos that I filmed since I did lock my hair. But again, I wanted to just kind of collectively put all my thoughts together in one cohesive video so we can, kind of engage and talk about it. Definitely comment below if you're locked or thinking about it. Let me know what are some of your anxieties, fears, things that you love, you wish you would have done it sooner. Let me know in the comments. So as far as the background of this journey for me, guys, I have been natural for 14 years. So yeah, it's been quite a while. And I remember when the natural hair care movement was getting a lot of steam, energy. A lot of people were getting into the game, a lot of videos. So that was really, for me, the inception of YouTube, was my natural hair care journey. That's when I actually created an account and started watching videos about people who are natural, how to go natural, how to transition, all of the things. So yeah, that was essentially the start of my natural hair journey. Again, is just going from relaxer to natural hair. And so I've done that for 14 years now. And the thing about me with my hair, I think I enjoyed my natural hair care journey as it relates to doing my own hair. During my journey, I have created my own products. I've done all the things, I feel in 14 years. And I feel the portion of my natural hair care journey that I enjoyed out of 14 years is probably the first 2 to 3 years. Everything else, I've just been managing my hair. But as far as what I enjoyed about being natural and going natural was probably within the first 3 years. I really enjoyed transitioning. I enjoyed my transitioning process and dealing with the 2 different textures. To me, that was very fun, creative period of time. And then the first few years of being natural was very fun. I did a lot of different styles. And I remember at that period of time, really dreaming, desiring my hair to be really long so I could do all these different things with my hair that I would see other people do who had very long and luscious natural hair. And it just didn't work out that way for me because I did get the long, luscious natural hair. However, with it came single strand knots. So if you're natural, you know what those are. Or if you don't know what those are, God bless you. You're the blessed few. Cannot touch the hem of your garment. I mean, I just, that's how I feel about the single strand knots. So yeah, I probably started getting those, I would say, within year 3 of my journey. And I just kept cutting my hair because I didn't know how else to get rid of them. And they were super annoying. And then I discovered, I guess you really can't get rid of them. As far as my hair texture, I'm I'm between a 4A and Z. I don't know. I feel my hair is a Z or something. It ain't on the chart, but that's what it is. So it's somewhere between there. But I have the back portion of my hair that's a bit looser, and then especially the crown is a lot kinkier and coarse, and everywhere else is just doing what it wants to do. So like many of us, where I do have multiple textures in just with my head and one head alone. But yeah, so I really have not been enjoying being natural, I would say, the past 11 years, just because it is, for me personally, a lot of work. And it's a lot of work just for me to like have my hair twisted the majority of the time or have my hair in a bun the majority of the time. And then what I found was that when my hair was not stretched out, that I got an excessive amount of knots. So that's when I started blow drying my hair, I would say in the past 2 years, or I would do curl formers, which would stretch out my hair just so I would have more of the length and I wouldn't get as many knots and tangles. So that was what kind of worked for me, but it did lead to a lot of like very dull hairstyles. I would get anxious as it related to wash time coming up, and maybe I'm just being dramatic, but I really hated with a passion doing my hair. And then when I moved here to Texas, I really could not locate a stylist who was willing to do my hair, so that was an issue. So yeah, all of the maintenance for my hair in the past 14 years, the majority of it fell on me. I mean, I did have someone I was seeing in South Carolina like 2 times a year, but and then it was a cost thing as well at that time, so it just was more affordable for me to do my own hair. Again, you know, had a house, paying loans, debt, all the things. So as it relates to my lock journey now, let's get to that. That's just kind of a little bit of the history of my hair in general. But I started looking at videos as it related to people locking their hair or maintaining locks, I would say about a year ago, back in 2023. It just intrigued me because I would see people do all these different hairstyles with either sister locks or micro locks, and they were so beautiful. And people talked about how the maintenance was very low for locks. There were a few people I was following. One is actually here in Houston, Texas, and that's how I actually found my loctician, is following this young lady on YouTube, and she lives here in Houston. And so, yeah, like I was following her journey, which her locks were DIY. And then, and now she goes to a loctician to, you know, continue the maintenance on them. And then another young lady who's in London, and I would follow her journey as well, so subscribe to her also. And so it just started really intriguing me, but I kept talking myself out of it because of the cost. I knew that there was a cost and a maintenance attached to locks, that you can't just, depending on the size of locks that you wanted, which I knew I wanted either sister locks or micro locks. So depending on the size, I knew that I would have to keep going back to the loctician for regular maintenance. And I'm a person who thinks worst scenario. So sue me. Yeah, probably that realist, pessimist friend. You still in the back of your mind have that little voice that's like, okay, well, what if this doesn't work? What if this fails? All the things. So that voice was really guiding me in the past year, where I kept thinking like, okay, well, it costs like, I thought it was, number one, the cost of getting the installation, I thought was going to be way more than what it actually turned out to be, number one. Number two, the cost of maintenance was really more so of my concern, because I said I don't really want to be dependent on another person again for my hair, because again, even though the loose natural hair was frustrating, it was still reliable. It's still something that I know I can do. Whereas with the lock journey, I knew it was something I did not want to maintain on my own, so I would be going to another person. But I'm like, well, what happens if that other person like moves away or gets sick or has a family emergency and they can't do my hair? Guys, we're living on the wild side now. It's 2024, we are 40, and we're living on the wild side now. I still don't know the answer to those questions. I mean, I guess I have an idea that I would have to maintain it myself until I found another loctician. I've watched videos on how to do reties and all of that. It's just not something I really am investing a lot of time and energy into right now while things are good. There probably is going to come that time of famine as there usually does. But I'm just not really devoting a lot of energy to that right at this moment. I'm just enjoying the good. And that's where we're at right now. That's how I've conquered that little voice in my head as it relates to this situation and with the locking. So yeah, the past year I was looking at it. I finally decided to, again, give more energy to the good side of getting locks as opposed to the possible and potential negatives. And that's essentially what led me to my journey back in April and May of really doing a lot of research, looking at a lot of YouTube videos. I did 3 different consultations between April and May, and I chose the last person that I did the consult with to be my loctician because she just seemed very professional. She wrote down the things that I said. She looked at my scalp. She told me what she could do, what she would recommend, and what she would not recommend. She was really excited about doing my hair and excited about my texture, which no one I have ever been to, whether I was relaxed or natural, has ever really been excited about doing my hair. And I'm certainly not excited about it. So it was just a very refreshing change. She's like, oh, I love installing locks and this texture of hair, and I rarely see it. And so, yeah, as far as the installation that took place at the end of May, and it took like 2+ days to do. So a total of 31 hours it took between a Tuesday morning and a Thursday early morning, like 5 a.m. is when she finished. So it was a total, again, of 31 hours. When I calculated the cost of installation per my loctician was $1,160 before the tip that I provided to her for her services. And she had energy all 31 hours. Like, I can honestly say I love this lady. Like, she's just very vibrant. She's just always very positive when she sees me. I just got my 3rd retie yesterday. Today's Sunday, September 1st. So I did get my retie yesterday, the 31st of August. She's always excited to see me and to dig into my hair and see what she sees, I guess. So that's definitely been a different change as far as someone being excited to do my hair. And somebody being excited to see me. So yeah, I decided on micro locks. So I know a lot of people will come up to me and they're like, oh, you have sister locks. And I just kind of explained this to someone today, that they're not sister locks, they are micro locks. And what is the difference? Real quickly, it's kind of like, I guess, the difference between, to simplify it, very simply, the difference between like a Kellogg's brand and a Kroger branded cereal. So the difference is that, again, Sister Locks is like a name brand, whereas Micro Locks is just, it's just kind of what the locks are. They're micro lock. They're very small locks. Whereas Sister Locks, they are also small locks, but they're branded small locks. They have a particular grid, which the grid is the way in which the locks are installed within your head and within your scalp. And then also they're installed in a particular way, which is interlocking. Whereas Microlocks has a bit more flexibility. Whereas Microlocks can be, Microlocks is relative to whatever your loctician is able to install in your hair, depending on your texture, your density. My texture and density allowed for a smaller type of lock. So what I have in my hair is the smallest lock that she could actually install. What was important to me about having locks was texture, volume. Some locks that I see look very kind of thin, and I don't know, again, if that's a texture thing or if that's just a personal choice as it relates to the actual size of the lock. But I was very concerned about my hair still having quite a bit of volume, similar to what I had with my loose natural hair. So she installed the smallest lock that she could, that was for my, that my texture density could allow for. So I don't know the size, but I do know it's over 600 locks that I do have in my head, in my scalp. So yes. Now, as it relates to, I'm trying to think of what else I wanted to say on that. So as far as the technique of installation, because again, I have micro locks. I did look into sister locks, but it was going to be quite a bit more expensive, and I wasn't really going to get exactly what I wanted as it related to the size with the loctician that I consulted for the sister locks. And so with the micro locks, my loctician did install these using 2-strand twists. So her installation method, she could either do 2-strand twists or interlocking. She told me 2-strand twists would be quicker. So yeah, quicker was 31 hours. And so She said the only thing about two-strand twists is that I may experience some slippage, but she was going to braid my hair at the roots before twisting it, doing the two-strand twist to try to prevent as much slippage as possible. But yeah, she did tell me if she interlocked, it would take longer. It did cost a bit more to do the interlocking. She started hers with two-strand twists, which I really loved her hair. She's been locked for 6 years. Her hair is gorgeous in my opinion. So that was also another deciding factor for me. I just loved her hair. She did hers DIY, and she's been maintaining her own hair as well. And so mine, again, are two-strand twists, but she could do two-strand twists. She could do interlocking. She did not do braids. I know I talked to a few locticians who do not do braided installation with locks because they said that the pattern does not disappear a lot of times for like at least 2 to 5 years is what they said. And I don't know, I personally did not like the way it looked when I saw people who had the braids to start off their locks as opposed to two-strand twists or even interlocking. So personally, I didn't like that aesthetic. It kind of made the hair I don't know, that person, the installations that I saw, the hair looked a bit scalpy. Like it just looked a little bit, I don't want to say too neat, but it just, yeah, it definitely was not my aesthetic. And both locticians that I talked to, again, I did 3 different consultations, but the 2 locticians I talked to, they would not do braids. And I didn't want braids anyway. So it worked out. And so the thing was, for me personally, again, I feel like I got what I wanted with the installation and with the lock size. Now, let me tell you about, now that I've kind of given you the background, hopefully you get a better understanding of the sister lock versus micro locks. Micro locks, as it relates to the grid, you can have a grid, you cannot have a grid. That wasn't really important to me. What was important to me was the aesthetic. So the grid was not important to me, whereas the grid is very important when you're installing sister locks. The method of installation wasn't as important to me. So again, sister locks, they have to be installed, to my understanding, by using the interlocking method, whereas with micro locks, they can be installed with coils, with braids, with two-strand twists, and with interlocking. And so I chose the two-strand twist. So yeah, and again, that was a bit cheaper than the interlocking, and it was going to be less time consuming. So yeah, that's kind of the methodology with both sister locks and the micro locks. So I put respect on the sister locks name because, again, the person that created them, that put all the work into the branding, I want to put respect on her name, you know, so that is her brand. And so with the micro locks, anybody can really do micro locks. You don't have to be licensed to do them. That's another thing with the sister locks. You do have to go through the classes, the courses, and learn the sister lock method of installation. Whereas micro locks, you can go on YouTube or you can do whatever and install them. So there's a lot more flexibility with micro locks as opposed to sister locks has a more rigid installation and upkeep. And so yeah, like with the micro locks, I am very happy personally. I went this route. So I had more flexibility as far as the installation, the cost, things like that, and the maintenance. Now, as it relates to the pros and the cons of the micro locks since I've gotten them installed. So if I'm looking down, I just want to make sure I didn't forget anything because I wrote all this stuff down. And so now the pros that I've liked thus far of having the micro locks. So the one thing is, I feel like they are very low maintenance. That was something I was looking for. I really wanted a low maintenance style. And so I do feel like the micro locks are low maintenance. Now, since I have been going to the loctician and getting reties, I've only washed my hair twice personally because she does wash it and before she does the reties when I go to my loctician. All locticians may not be like that, but mine, she does wash my hair before she does the retie. And so I've actually, since I've gotten them installed back at the end of May, I've only had to do 2 washes. And the first wash was a little rough because I wasn't used to the braiding and banding. And then from the mistakes I made the first time, I was like, okay, well, next time I'm gonna do this, this, and this, and it'll be better, it'll be quicker. And it was. So yeah, I don't have an issue with braiding and banding. Since the second time I've washed my hair, I'll wash my hair again in another few weeks. And so I pretty much, as it relates to my wash schedule, very similar to when I was loose natural, like bi-weekly is when I would wash my hair. So I'm kind of sticking to that now also. And so it is very low maintenance. It takes maybe an hour to wash. The most time that's spent is with the actual braiding and banding. I don't know how long I'll have to braid and band. I see, like, I don't know, I guess as it relates to braiding and banding, I guess until my hair fully locks, I don't know when that's gonna be. But for the foreseeable future, I'll have to braid and band. But that's what takes the most time. And still, even that isn't so time consuming. So it's very low maintenance, which is what I wanted. The washes are quick, very minimal styling. I'll just do like a braid out or a twist out just to kind of stretch my hair. And then very few products, which is what I was told. You really don't use a lot of products on locked hair because when your hair does fully lock, products can definitely like be like kind of build up on your locks. So you don't want to use a whole lot of products, especially at the inception of getting locks. So I only use like shampoo, and then sometimes I'll use oil. And that's pretty much it. I don't do deep conditioners. I can't do deep conditioners right now because, again, I'm still in the very beginning stages of having locks. So I am subject to quite a bit of slippage if I use conditioners or anything like that. But I still feel like my hair is, for the most part, still pretty conditioned. It doesn't feel very dry. So that's really amazing too. Just with the natural oils that my scalp secretes, I feel like my hair is still pretty moisturized overall with just water. So my upkeep essentially is just water on a daily basis, or every other day I'll just spritz my hair and just go through it with my fingers just to kind of stretch it out. So yeah, low maintenance is the biggest pro for me. A lot of time is saved now being locked as opposed to when I was loose natural. The second big pro or thing that I like the most about having locked hair is the texture. So I feel like more of my texture is definitely a lot more defined than it was. Like, I had to do quite a bit of manipulation of my hair to get a defined texture when I was a loose natural, whereas with locked hair, with the ends that are still out and curly, they are quite a bit more defined, especially since I have, a bit of shrinkage. So yeah, let me get a little closer so you guys can kind of see. And again, I just had my third retie yesterday. So yeah, like you can kind of see with my hair that, again, yeah, like it's very curly, very defined. So that's what I do like about it, is that I don't have to necessarily braid it or anything to get the definition that I have. It just kind of is there after my hair is done, or even when I spray water on my hair. So that's another thing that I really like as well, that I can see more of my actual texture. Now, the other thing too, I'm just gonna stick with 3 things that I like thus far. So the third thing that I like is having a loctician and having assistance with the upkeep of my hair. So again, like I said, I did go to a few people to, do things with my hair since I was natural for the past 14 years, but it was very few and far between. So most of the upkeep was reliant upon me, trimming and deep conditioning, protein treatments, all the things, right? So with having a loctician, so essentially it's like a co-laborer or somebody who is helping me as it relates to monitoring my hair, my scalp for its health, where I didn't have that before. And one of the things my loctician did point out when she was going through my scalp and installing my locks, she's like, oh, you have like 2 moles, like one on one side of my head and one on the other side. She's like, make sure you just like go to a dermatologist and get that checked out, because you want to make sure it's not anything serious. Whereas again, I've been doing my hair for years. I wouldn't have known, because of the spots where the moles are located, to go to a dermatologist and have them look through my scalp Like, that's not something I would have known to do without her going through my head and doing my hair and bringing that to my awareness. So I do think it is good. A lot of times we're trying to save money, we're trying to be shrewd, but it is good to have someone to look at your hair or even look at your nails and bring something to your attention that maybe you do need another specialist to look at further and investigate. So not just as it relates to her doing my hair or helping me upkeep my hair, but even with my health. That's like, to me, a health thing that I wouldn't have known about otherwise. So I am going to go see the dermatologist. I have an appointment in a few weeks. But yeah, so that's kind of the biggest, another big pro as well is having someone to massage my scalp, to wash my hair, having that time to just relax. And I didn't realize I was missing that so much until now, going through this process of locking my hair. So to me, it is like a privilege, it's a luxury, but it's also something at some point I feel like that is needed. You know, again, just to go and have someone look at your hair and your scalp, just to make sure that it's, you know, you are in good health, or if you're not in good health, you know, you get it checked out to be rectified. So those are the things I really do like, and the biggest pros for me of having my hair now locked. Now, as it relates to cons or dislikes, the number one thing for me would be the shrinkage. So I started with my hair locked on between 12 to 14 inches of hair. Where's the hair at now, you guys? I don't know. Where's the 12 to 14 inches? So this has been the biggest adjustment and the biggest thing that I have disliked, because for the past, I would say 2 years, I have been blowing out my hair because it helps me, like I said, to not have as many knots. I was getting a lot of knots with my loose natural hair, and I found the only way for me personally to combat that was to have my hair stretch. Whether it was through blow drying was just quicker, or even doing like curl formers, which was like a 2-day process. But I would, yeah, definitely the past 2 years, my hair has been stretched. So yeah, like the 12 to 14 inches, like you could definitely more like see better. But here we are now, like, you know, the 12 to 14 inches is hiding out again in shrinkage, which I don't necessarily love. I will be very happy when my hair is locked and it drops, because I knew that there was going to be shrinkage. I did do that research. I just didn't realize it was going to be so much shrinkage. So yeah, I didn't know we were going back to this phase. Like for me, this was like, I say 2 to 3 years when I was natural, as far as this amount of shrinkage, which wasn't really shrinkage back then. It just was kind of like how my hair looked. But even at 3 years, I think my hair was longer than this. And when it was like in a full fro. So yeah, this has been quite an adjustment. I don't like it. I will be 100% honest. But you know, again, the ways you can combat that is I could braid my hair. I could do like a braid out or a twist out. But I've gotten so lazy, I just don't even really feel like doing all that. So the only time I will really braid my hair is if I'm washing it. And that is probably my favorite. But my favorite few times of washing my hair is been with the braid outs, because I feel like that's where my volume, my fluff, my softness comes in after I've done those last 2 washes. So when I wash my hair again, it will definitely look different. I'll have more volume, more texture. But right now, yeah, I just want to kind of show you guys what my hair looked like right after a retie. I just got this done yesterday. So I did sleep on it, but I didn't put anything on it this morning. But yeah, like the shrinkage is horrible. The other issue, as far as what I don't like, has been the slippage. So I have been experiencing that, especially in the back, where I walk 5 days a week. So I definitely do sweat quite a bit. And because the texture in the back of my hair is looser than the rest of my hair, I have been getting slippage of some locks in the back of my hair where they've been coming out, like slipping out completely, or again, just, yeah, like coming out, like, I don't know, just kind of, again, not being very well defined. Now, my loctician has seen it the past few times. I think slippage is something she just kind of expects, so she doesn't make a big deal about it. And I don't believe she considers it a repair. She hasn't charged me for it when she's like kind of like locked them back into place. Like definitely along the nape of the neck is where I get quite a bit of slippage. I think to combat that, before I work out, I think I am just gonna braid my hair down, because again, I just walk like 5 days a week and I sweat quite a bit. So I think I am just gonna kind of braid my hair down for the 5 days that I walk, and then I'll just do a nice cute twist out on the weekend or something of that nature, just so again, I can try to prevent that on my end. I don't really think she's all that concerned about it, honestly. She just like re-braids it and keeps it pushing, as what she's done the last 2 times. But yeah, the slippage is very frustrating because I want my hair to lock, and you know, it's almost like reinstalling them with the slippage that I've experienced because of sweat, really. I don't put any other products on my hair, so it's really just the sweat. And then also, I did add this third one, but for me, it's not really a con, but it can definitely be a con for having micro locks, or sister locks, I would say, would be the upkeep. So you are relying on someone else to help you as it relates to, like I said, co-laborer or helping with the upkeep of your hair, unless you are going to adopt that responsibility. I'm not gonna do it, guys. I'm just gonna be honest. I didn't even like washing my loose natural hair. You see all these locks, it's over 600. And maybe I should have made better decisions in life and not gone with this many locks. But I wanted my hair to look like this. I'm being honest. Like, you can see my hair still looks like loose natural hair. And that wasn't necessarily what I was going for. I just really wanted quite a bit of volume. And it just happens to still look like loose natural hair until you get up close and you can see like, oh, your hair is locked. Yeah. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I pray for my loctician. That's what I do now. I just pray for her. I pray for her constantly. For her well-being, for her livelihood, for, yeah, her health, her family. Maybe that's the purpose of us being connected. I don't know, but I definitely pray for her, because I'm like, man, please. I know probably one day it's going to happen and I will have to deal with the reckoning of these choices that I've made in life. But right now, we're just going to pretend like it's all good. We're just going to pretend like it's all good. I mean, I reckon if that happens, I would have to get a backup loctician. I'd have to do my research and find another loctician, which some people at church did give me the names of some locticians. So I would maybe go that route, or I would have to get on YouTube and try to do a little something myself. And it would take me over a week to do. Whereas her reties, when she reties my hair, it takes her about like 4 hours, 4.5 hours to do. This would take me over a week to do myself. So yeah, I'm praying for her health and well-being, that nothing happens to her, so we can just maintain our cohesive, wonderful relationship. So anyway, guys, that's all I wanted to share as it related to a lock update, how I'm feeling about my locks right now, my background as it relates to how I came to this decision, my likes, my dislikes. And so we're continuing on in the journey. I'm still very excited. And just if you got, again, guys, if you are thinking about locking your hair, or if you're already locked, definitely comment below. Let me know how you deal with slippage, especially if you're a person that works out, or if you just sweat a lot. Like, let me know how you have been dealing with slippage, or what are some things that have been working for you. Because yeah, I just really want my hair to lock so we can move forward. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I know this is a rather long video. I'm rather chatty, but hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Also, make sure you share it with anyone else who likes this particular content as it relates to locks and hair. And so if you know anyone who likes that, definitely share this video with them. And before you leave, make sure you do subscribe to the channel. You do that by hitting the red button below and the bell next to it, so you're notified when I do upload future videos. And again, you guys, thank you so very much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I will see you in my very next video. Bye, guys.